This is RTV6 News at 5. Working for you.
First at 5, dangerous heat blanketing central Indiana.
And as you can see here, construction crews did not have the day off from working outdoors. So if you must be outside, we show you what steps you need to take to stay safe.
First, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking these extremely hot temperatures.
So Kevin, how long, everybody's asking, how long will this stick around?
3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not counting today. But Monday, we start a new week. We'll get a whole new feel, and we'll have a different attitude. I promise you all that. All right, 93. That was our high today in Indy. The warmest heat index I saw, 106. And that's the unusual part of this in the Hoosier State, is really kind of the extreme humidity. We're certainly used to temperatures actually hitting 93. We're back down to 92 in Indy now. 96 in Bedford. The bubble of warmth lifting now all the way through the Hoosier State. On the edge here, northern Indiana, you've had some thunderstorms nearby, and 85 in Peru. Heat index values. The 106 heat index was down in Bloomington. We're at 99 in Indy. Again, this is just settling in for this 3-day stretch. We're dry now. We'll stay that way, but if you're outside very long at all, you won't be dry. You work up quite a sweat. Temperatures by 10 and 11 o'clock tonight still above 80 degrees. We'll focus on your weekend forecast and the change, not only to the temperature, but another big change for early next week coming up.
Yeah, I was a little relieved that it was under an underpass. We didn't have to deal with the heat as much, but, you know, it's fun either way.
Right now and in the coming days, we are dealing with excessive and dangerous heat, and it could be a challenge to stay cool during the heat wave.
You will want to spend as much time as possible indoors with the AC, in the shade, or at the pool. And as the heat continues, we are working for you with ways to keep you and your family safe.
RTV6's Nicole Griffin is live tonight with pointers. Nicole, good evening.
Good evening. Well, free spray grounds like this one here at Tarkington Park are the perfect place to be with the hot weather that we are seeing. You see all the kids out here right now enjoying the weather and enjoying this nice water that's cooling them off. But we know not everyone is able to escape the heat, so we talked to some folks working out in the heat today about how they stay cool. Making improvements to our city while learning about the area is how hundreds of interns from Indiana businesses spent their Thursday.
Today we're just, painting a mural that our local artist actually got and traced the lines for, so we're just coloring in and making Indy look beautiful.
Sakuda Patel is an intern with Roche. He's taking part in Indy Fluence. They are doing 10 service projects across the city. When Patel found out he'd be spending the day outside in this heat, he was concerned.
So we have lots of waters. There's 6 water bottles for every single person, so we're staying hydrated. And this underpass kind of keeps us cool, keeps us in the shade. But, just talking with everyone, we kind of forget the heat.
Meanwhile, across town at Garfield Park, kids in this Indy Parks camp are avoiding the outdoors by spending most of their day inside.
On days like today and tomorrow and the day after, we keep them inside to avoid them getting any of those damaging UV rays.
Camp counselors are trained if they do take the kids outside during a heat wave like we are seeing to watch out for signs of heat exhaustion.
Their faces will redden, especially some of the more sensitive campers, so we're always aware of that. They're also pretty vocal about their needs and wants, so if they think it's too hot and we're starting to hear that it's too hot from them, we take it in.
The counselors stay in constant communication with the park manager, making sure they are keeping the kids safe while also having a fun day at camp. If the feels like temperature is over 100, they will not go outside. But not everyone is lucky enough to be able to stay indoors. Tonight at 6, we talk to workers where their job requires them to be outside the entire day. And those construction workers that you saw right there at the end of that story tell me breaks are important and lots of water. Now, if you are hoping to cool down, you just got off work and you want to come down to spray grounds like this one, there are several across the entire city, and they are open till 8 o'clock. And I can feel the water hitting me right now, and it feels so good. Reporting live, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Glad you are keeping cool out there, Nicole. And while many events have been canceled because of that heat that Nicole just talked about, the Indianapolis Indians game is going on as scheduled at 7 p.m. at Victory Field. And RTV6's Sports' Brad Brown is there live showing us what is the team doing, Brad, to keep everyone cool tonight.
Amanda, I want to first know why I don't have Nicole's assignment somewhere near a splash pad. We'll take this one, though, as the Indians go here at 7 o'clock tonight. This is kind of the answer, the short answer, what the Indians are doing here tonight for fans at the stadium. Charlie Hendry is the Director of Communications here for the team. Kind of tell me a little bit first about the team kind of relaxing some rules to allow fans a chance to beat the heat here this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's all about giving fans those tips and tools to help them beat that heat. Anyone tonight can bring in a 20-ounce or smaller bottle of water like you just showed off. So feel free to bring that in no matter where you're sitting in the stadium tonight. Obviously, we always allow that out in the lawn. You're still welcome to bring a cooler out in the lawn. Just come in through the center field or right center field gate.
And some other precautions that you and your staff are taking over the course of not just this week, but kind of any of these hot nights like this to keep fans cool here.
Yeah, really through tonight through Sunday. So we'll actually, for the players then on the field, we'll actually have fans in the dugout just to try to keep them cool. I mentioned to you, Sunday's actually our yoga in the outfield game. It's going to be our own little version of hot yoga out there. We're going to have extra water coolers down for the participants there. And a little tip for fans who are with us these next few days, hit the misting stations that are out on the concourse in left field and center field. They'll be really popular, but you can get a nice soak if you hit those buttons a few times.
And listen, just hang around the kids because they will constantly hit the buttons on the misting stations out there. So the thing just keeps going right there. Enjoy the weekend, Charlie. Thanks for the time.
Brad. Yep.
Let's go again tonight, 7:05 tonight. They'll go again 7:15 on Friday, Saturday, a 1:35 game on Sunday afternoon here at Victory Field. And again, those bottled water rules will apply all weekend. So if you're coming out, go ahead and bring a drink to the stadium with you to keep you hydrated. Coming up at 6, what about the Indians players? They got to work in this heat. We'll talk with them about how they're dealing with these hot temperatures here as the evening continues. We're live at Victory Field. Brad Brown for RTV6 Sports.
We'll see you at 6 o'clock, Brad. Thank you. Studies have found that when it is this hot out, it's difficult to think straight. So local leaders are offering some remedies to keep you safe. If you have to be outside, stay hydrated with water and keep in mind that drinking alcohol will dry you out. Check on relatives and neighbors, especially if they are older or without air conditioning. And while you may want to wear less clothing outside, experts say you really ought to do the opposite.
Covering a lot more of your body will help. And we're not talking like heavy garments. We're just talking about light, loose-fitting clothes to help keep some of the sun and UV rays off of you.
Because it's so hot, you may not be thinking clearly, so don't forget to look before you lock your car doors to make sure no children or pets are inside.
And if you do have to go outside, it is important you know the signs of heat-related illnesses: dizziness, too much or too little sweating, skin abnormalities, pulse changes, and muscle cramps are things to look out for. We have those symptoms posted for you right now on the RTV6 app.
There are cooling centers open across central Indiana during this heat wave. Just go to the RTV6 app and our website, theindychannel.com, for a complete list of cooling centers. New at 5 here, an Anderson mother is charged with leaving her young child in a hot vehicle for more than 2 hours while the Department of Child Services interviewed her about her newborn. Investigators say 27-year-old Jennifer Ost gave birth to a little boy on July 12th and then signed the infant out against medical advice. According to the probable cause affidavit filed in Madison County, the Department of Child Services met Ost at her pediatrician appointment on July 16th at 2:40 in the afternoon to interview her about why she signed out her son without the doctor's approval. At around 4:30, police received a call about a small child in a vehicle in the parking lot. When officers arrived, they found all of the car windows rolled up and the little boy sweating profusely inside. It was 86 degrees outside. DCS took custody of the newborn and the little boy. Ost is now charged with neglect.
Many people in the local sex industry want out, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Stephanie Wade shows us the new program aiming to help those who want a fresh start gain employment far away from the lifestyle they're accustomed to.
It was kind of a trap for me. I got stuck in the lifestyle.
The partying lifestyle is what attracted this woman, who we won't identify, to working at a strip club.
Using my sexuality as a tool to be powerful in my own eyes was a way to kind of numb out.
She had to provide for her child and found many attractive things about the industry. But she eventually realized she wanted more. She had bigger dreams. Then she realized it was more difficult than she thought to get out.
When you're coming from the industry, you probably made good money while you were working. And so now you're dealing with going from making very decent money to now poverty level once you've left.
That's where Unconditional Ministries steps in. They're a nonprofit that helps empower and support women in the sex industry. For 7 years, club owners across Indianapolis have allowed Unconditional to come in, bring gift bags to dancers, and offer help or friendship if they need. And now they're partnering with Trace Fashion, a sustainable fashion company that creates comfortable workwear for women to provide job opportunities for those who have decided to step away from the industry. While taking classes on mental wellness and financial stability, these women will work in marketing and distribution to give them work experience. Now, if you would like information or how to get involved with this program, we'll have more on the news at 6 and on our website at theindychannel.com. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
The semi-truck driver arrested over the weekend after a crash on I-465 that left a mother and her twin daughters dead makes his first appearance in court. And new tonight, we've learned the Marion County Prosecutor's Office has officially charged Bruce Pollard with 3 counts of reckless homicide and reckless operation of a vehicle in a highway work zone. And in court, an October trial date was set for Pollard. Alana Coons and her daughters, June and Ruby, died in the wreck Sunday on I-465 near North Keystone Avenue. State police say Pollard failed to slow his semi while approaching stopped traffic in a construction zone. He rear-ended the Coons' car. In all, 7 vehicles were involved in that fiery accident. Pollard was not seriously hurt. Court papers say Pollard failed to obey warning signs, was speeding, and did not brake before the crash. The police report says Pollard expressed no remorse for the crash.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6. You may have splurged a bit on Amazon Prime Day, but we will show you why you should pay special attention for extras. We'll explain on the Now Indy at 5:30.
But first, here at 5 o'clock, the heat isn't the only thing you need to be careful of when you go outside during the summer. What you can do to avoid the bite that could cause diseases.
And here are the record temperatures, and you can see after tomorrow they're triple-digit record highs. How close will we be? And when we break the heat wave, how nice will it feel? That's coming up.
Based on the all-new 2019 Ram 1500.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. For the first time, we're hearing from the acting prosecutor in Johnson County. This is a day after the former prosecutor, Bradley Cooper, resigned under the terms of a plea deal in a domestic violence case. Yesterday, a judge sentenced Cooper to 540 days of supervised probation and a $50 fine. Deputies were called to Cooper's home in March, where they found a woman with a swollen and bruised eye. Joe Villanueva is now the acting prosecutor in Johnson County. He outlines the process of getting a permanent prosecutor into place.
It'll happen within 30 days. The precinct committee people will vote on who will be the next prosecutor. There are certain rules and thresholds you must meet to make that vote. And that person would then serve out the balance of this term, which would be 3 years.
Villanueva says he is putting his name in the running to become the permanent prosecutor of Johnson County.
Democracy 2020 coverage. South Bend, Indiana Mayor and presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg is the keynote speaker at the annual Young Democrats of America conference. It is being held in Indianapolis right now, and Buttigieg takes the stage in less than 2 hours. He will give the keynote address to more than 1,000 expected attendees at Union Station. This year is the first time the Young Democrats of America has been held in Indianapolis. It is unclear exactly what Buttigieg will be discussing at tonight's event, but he is expected to talk about his experiences as a Democrat in a red state like Indiana. Mayor Pete will give his speech at 7 p.m. We will live stream it on the RTV6 app and the RTV6 Facebook page. And the Indiana Republican Party is responding to Buttigieg's Indiana appearance with a little snark. Party spokesperson Pete Seat said in part after spending more time recently in places like Iowa, New Hampshire, New York, and California than the cities he's employed to lead, it's great to finally welcome Pete Buttigieg back to Indiana, end quote. Mayor Pete will give his speech at 7 p.m. We will stream it live again if you are interested in watching it. And tomorrow, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will speak at the Young Democrats of America convention. She will talk at 7 p.m. during the general session.
Many of us are taking advantage of the summer weather by getting outside. And for those who like to garden, hike, or even the kids who like to run around in their backyards, looking out for ticks is essential. Experts say ticks thrive in this hot weather, and the CDC says climate change can mean no longer warm seasons with shorter, mild winters. That strongly influences the development and survival of ticks and their host animals like deer. So that means the risk of diseases like Lyme disease increases. Zrinka Palmer's 6-year-old daughter Isabel was playing outside one day. She ran back into the house and told her mom that she had a bug bite. Turns out a tick bit Isabel. She had a bullseye mark left behind.
Now, after that, we do tick checks every night, and you have to check their hair because ticks love hair. So you have to check that now. So it's a little bit more of a process.
After that bite, Isabel took a 10-day antibiotic course for Lyme, and then over the next year, Zorinka had to keep a close eye on her to make sure Lyme doesn't develop. Doctors are urging anyone spending a significant amount of outside time to wear long sleeves and pants if possible, wear a hat, and also put on bug spray with DEET. Your chances of getting a disease from ticks is very low, but it's definitely better to be safe than sorry.
Always good to do whenever you're outside.
That's right.
Normally, I'd be scrambling to put my water away, hide it.
Yeah.
No, but you better enjoy it.
We've relaxed all the rules.
Right.
Drink plenty of fluid. Sun tea, do you guys ever do that?
Sun tea, yeah. You can leave it outside and enjoy that later.
I'm just talking off the top of my head. I'm not a tea guy.
Look at you, fancy.
No, I can't build tea.
Sounds like you're craving it.
But I can build a forecast for you, and it's a changing forecast once we get past Sunday. Hang in there. We'll make it 3 more days with temperatures about like today, only a little bit warmer. We're at 92 right now. I think we'll dial it into the mid-90s tomorrow. 104 is the heat index for Terre Haute with a temperature of 91 degrees. As far as the wind, we do have a breeze. That helps. Shade, you seek that immediately. A breeze is nice, and then plenty of breaks if you're outside at all, like we were today on Monument Circle for the back-to-school drive. Thank you for all your contributions. I want to show you the radar, and this shower and thunderstorm activity that rolls through Chicago, northern Indiana, and then into Ohio is just riding what we call the ridge, the bubble of hot air. And right now in central Indiana, protected from any thunderstorms. Kyle Mounts is out in the elements. Run 317. Well, there are the numbers right next to you, Kyle. Still set to go for this evening in this humid conditions. Kyle?
Yeah, Kevin. So now that we're getting into this extreme heat, it is having an impact on some of the events around Indianapolis, including the Run 317, which is going to happen here still this evening. We're on Mass Ave. It happens at 7 o'clock, but it's being run under a red flag. And what that means is it's no longer a timed event. Participants are being encouraged by the organizers to jog and walk instead of running and pushing themselves, and also keeping hydrated. And you can see they've got barrels of water and mountains of water here ready for the participants, ready to go here at 7 o'clock. Let's talk about that forecast, because even at 7, it's still going to be hot out here. That temperature right around 90 degrees. The heat index, it's going to feel like it's around 100 as well. As far as the sky conditions, we got a lot of sunshine out here, so that's not helping. A little bit of that breeze, though, that Kevin was talking about. So no matter what you're doing this evening, Kevin, kind of the bottom line is just take it easy. And again, keep yourself hydrated. Can't say that enough.
And thank you, Kyle. Just to think the temperature still at 11 o'clock tonight will be around 80 degrees. Here's where we're headed. 95 tomorrow, heat index of 106. Familiar territory on Saturday. Slight chance of thunderstorms Saturday night. Sunday, 40% chance of thunderstorms. We lower the temperature and the heat index. And then early next week, the bubble of warmth will be pushed back to the west. We'll see some cooler air flow into central Indiana and the Midwest, and the big refreshing change arrives. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s, and that's with much lower humidity. 7-day forecast. An isolated thunderstorm may cool you a bit Saturday night. Sunday, they're a little more likely, and then the refreshing change with lows almost back into the upper 50s and highs in the lower 80s. Cheers.
Yeah, hydrate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, it's almost time to go back to school. The big drive RTV6 put together to give students a good start to the year and how you can still help. You're watching RTV6.
Come in for great deals now.
Welcome back. It's hard to believe, but summer break is almost over and kids are heading back to school soon.
Can you believe that? Well, here at RTV6, we spent the day collecting school supplies for students in central Indiana.
Our Alyssa Donovan explains how your donations will make a difference and how you can still help if you missed our event.
Great. I hope you all stay cool. Yes, thank you for thinking about us.
Hoosiers stepped it up today to make a difference.
Well, I've got folders, pens, pencils, loose leaf.
Dropping off supplies.
Back to school donations!
and monetary donations.
I donated some money for school supplies because education's important.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody called out to me and asked me to do it. She was very assertive, which is great.
If I see a child down, no matter who it is, I help them. And that's why I'm here, because I want other people to share the love like me.
Helping RTV6 collect thousands of items.
I was a former elementary school art teacher in Crown Point, so I believe in school supplies, so I gave cash.
I think education is important, and I think it's important that children have all the supplies that they need when they get to school.
All of this will be placed into backpacks and passed out to kids at the Back to School Family Day on Saturday, July 27th.
You know, some people run across hard times, and hey, I love to help out when I can, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, but I'll be back at the toy drive.
If you missed our drive, you can still drop off supplies at RTV6. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Thanks to everyone who came out. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock here on RTV6, the semi-driver accused of killing a mother and her daughters appears before a judge. Tonight we're asking why he was charged and other drivers in similar situations aren't.
But first on the Now Indy, the search for a person who has been setting fires to homes. Now, one of the victims with her message to the suspect who is putting lives in danger. You're watching RTV6.